Welcome to this week's edition of the Open Line Garden Show podcast. Now, I've been to the Loblaws PC President's Choice Insiders, and let's put it this way, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I saw and what I liked. And there was a lot that I liked. But one of the things that I really don't think is stressed well enough is the fact that, you know how we always say, do it local, buy the food, everything else local. Okay, so what about the plants? Loblaws uses local growers to either finish the product off or to grow the product here right in your area. For example, Brookdale Treeland Nurseries, okay, here in Ontario, they are bringing in and finishing off all the larger plant material such as the hardy fig, the kiwis, the colocaceas, and of course all the tropical plants from Florida. So there you go, local. Forest Glen Greenhouses is looking after all the plant material for President's Choice down in Atlantic Canada. So local. Duman is one of my favorite breeders. They're the Red Fox brand, and they do a lot of great work in breeding. They use DNA to make sure that the plants they're growing on actually have all the right genes that they're looking for. Otherwise, why keep breeding in what I'll call faults? And that's how they make sure that they bring out things quickly and identical to what their needs and our needs are. They are going to be bringing out and this year the Big Easy geraniums. Now, red geraniums sell the best. Big Easy is probably the best red geranium I have ever seen. It has more breaks. That means more branches from the bottom. And it has umbels, that's the flowers, 6 inches across. And it's a darn good red. So there you go. How about Aloha Hot Orange, Calibrachoa, the Hula series in the pink golden cherry as well. So there's a lot of great plants coming in. Of course, they always do the great combos such as confetti, which is all different colors and plants that grow well together to give you instant flash. Linwell Gardens here in St. Catharines is doing a lot of the growing for Loblaws and President's Choice. And they have been doing it for 21 years. So local, right? And they are doing a lot of the vegetative work. Sergentia Flowers are one of the major breeders throughout the globe. And Linwell Gardens is also growing a lot of theirs, including, of course, the Crimson Flame geranium. Now you're going to say, okay, it's another red geranium. But this is actually a calliope. Now, calliope, you know the red. You know last year they brought out that sort of lavender pink. Well, this year they've brought out Crimson Flame. Now, Crimson Flame is interesting. It has a pink, hot pink center, a hot pink edge, and in between, dark red. So it's very, very bicolor, very interesting. It's almost as vigorous as the original red and gives you that size, color, and bloom. Always in bloom, tons of color. I'll be growing Linwell Farms and Linwell Gardens here in St. Catharines. Martin Farms, out near Vineland Station, here in Niagara. Probably one of the great growers. I go out here every year to get certain plants and that nobody else has, that he grows, and he says, Bruce, I got some. But they're going to be doing the grafted Mighty Mados for them, including the new Indigo Rose, which we grew in our garden last year as a test, and we all loved. So we were happy to see that. They're also growing all the kale bowls and all the vegetative and vegetable bowls as well, and doing a great job. We really do like Martin Farms. Vineland Research Station. You thought it was just a research station. Well, they're doing all the work supported by Vineland on what I'll call new vegetable introductions. Now, a lot of these are on the newest, the best of eggplants and many other vegetables, and that's local. Okay, and remember, it's not supported by taxes, government, federal, provincial. It's basically industry driven and paying. Sheridan Nurseries. How many people in this town don't know Sheridan Nurseries? All over Canada. Sheridan Nurseries been around since 1913. They are growing the boxwoods. They are doing the connoisseur collection of perennials, including the Northwind Perennial Grass of the Year for 2014, among many others. They're also growing the new Amber Jubilee 9-bark, the Snow Day Surprise Pearl Bush, which I'm dying to get planted in my yard, Cleopatra Coneflower, which more looks like a spoon mum than it actually looks like a coneflower, Glamour Girl Fox, which has great resistance to mildew, and of course Gold Bar Maiden Grass. That's the grass that, yes, gets the gold bars like we're used to getting on the bigger, older plants, but later in the season. This one comes up and has it A, when it's young, and B, early in the season. So that is actually an addition to my garden again, well, this year. Well, I've got the old ones, now I want the new ones. Freeman Herbs. We all know Freeman Herbs. Well, they are supplying great herbs to us here. Growing in Beamsville, so local. Warren Greenhouses in Kitchener is doing the plants for that area as well. So you've got another family business there and local. That's Kitchener's local. All of this is where Loblaws is growing their plants. So please think of this. When you're buying them, you're not supporting somebody growing it in Timbuktu or somewhere down in the States. Now, I should say that some of the plants are bred by Ball, but they're growing more locally, and I do like Ball as a breeder. I was in Ball Gardens, the trial gardens, a number of years ago, and they said, well, this is the last year for the gardens. And we were going, you're kidding. You're getting rid of it? No, we're not getting rid of it. We're redoing all the 11 acres because we're bored with it, and we're going to improve it. We're going to change this, we're going to change that, and we're looking at it going, here we're saying it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and you're changing it. Okay, just to keep it up. So, what did I see that I really liked? Of course, I mentioned the red calliope. Now, that's called Crimson Flame Geranium, and it's exclusive to the Loblaws banner store. So, you gotta get in and get that one if you want it, okay? A geranium that never stops blooming and, of course, has that interest. Now, exclusive to the Loblaws banner stores is also the Rex begonias. Now, I love Rex begonias because of the foliage. Make great houseplants. Now, with great houseplants comes the idea that they can also be used in bedding outdoors. What? Outdoors, indoors, same plant? And so the end of the season before frost, before it gets too cold, you pot them up, and what have you got? Great houseplants for a cool, bright window. It's a begonia, right? Now, colored leaves, foliage, this one is for the shade. And how do you know if you're going to get the right plant for the right conditions? Loblaws has introduced a new color code system. There's a bar at the top of the label. And of course, the color indicates light exposure. And so if you get one that's got a yellow bar at the top, it's for full sun, okay? So read the different colors and then turn the tag over, and they've made it clear, open, and precise. In other words, sometimes you can't read the fine print on the back of the label. These ones are nicely spaced out, so it's easier for us old people, with bifocals to read. I didn't say that, okay? I include myself in that category, by the way. Again, exclusive to Loblaws is Fiesta Hibiscus. Now, okay, we can get sort of bored with hibiscus. We're spoiled. But this one is fantastic. I love the colors. It has a three-dimensional look. It's got oranges, reds, and pinks and yellows sort of all in the same flower. So it's all streaked, blotched, you name it, edged, all these colors. The foliage is that dark green and it's shiny. It's what you're looking for in a hibiscus for any deck or patio. Again, a full shade plant. There was one in there that, it just blew my senses away. And that was the Longfoot Basil. Now, it's exclusive to Loblaws banner stores. And this is a Greek basil. It's grafted, or budded if you like, on a woody trunk. Now, the woody trunk is actually a blue basil. I've grown blue basil in a container, and people come into my yard and they go, "What the heck is that?" That's blue basil, and you smell it. It smells like basil, looks sort of like basil, but it's more of a bluey green. Got a little bit of silver in the leaf. A fabulous looking plant. So they use that as the understock, so you won't see it. But on the top, you got this most gorgeous, aromatic basil you have ever smelled. Of course, they've got the Honokoloa sedgegrass, the Japanese sedgegrass. They're going to have that one again this year. And of course, they've got the Riley pots. So if you're going to put pots out there that are more tough, frost resistant, but you can go and get the Tunisian frost resistant clay pots, or you can do the Riley pots, which are the more designer, coming in a peacock blue and apple green and purples, fun colors. Never mind the traditional black and white. They're there as well. So a lot of neat things that I did see and did love in there. So I mentioned the Big Easy geraniums. They're going to have the dragon wing begonias again. Trust me, they are to die for. They're tough, they're easy, they're fast, they're aggressive, and let's be honest, a darn good begonia with lots of color, great glossy green leaves. Now, we all know that there is a real problem with growing impatiens because of the mildew. Basically, the growers have almost stopped growing impatiens simply because of it. It's so widespread. It's gotten to the point where you basically shouldn't even plant an impatiens. Now, I'm talking about the Walleriana. So tell me this, what do you do? Well, Ball, who has been breeding impatiens forever, has a series called Divine. Now, Divine is a New Guinea hybrid impatiens. Now, this patiens comes in all different colors. It's a little thicker flower. That means more petals, big. So it really starts to look like the old impatiens you're used to, with this green leaf that sort of looks like the old impatiens. And what is it? Mildew resistant, tough as nails. So where you were using your mildew impatiens that just couldn't stand up, this is the series that you can start planting to replace. We knew there might be something to do, but this is still not in the same breeding program as what gets mildew, but this one looks like it. And of course, it comes in many different colors. So for those of you die-hard impatiens people, there you go. There is your choice. I mentioned Rex begonias for the shade. Now I do indicate, and the label will indicate where to plant them, deep shade. Now, there are a couple of tree forms that they do have, and I am thrilled with, because I've wanted to grow both of these for many years. One is Exora, which is the orangest, goes gorgeous colored orange umbels on a standard, okay? Absolutely gorgeous, and it's only $30. It's absolutely a fantastic plant. It's braided. should be staked in my opinion, but if you've got it in the right location out of wind, but it does love the sun. But try that one. Oh, it is gorgeous. You know about the Fiesta, but it's more of a bush, but there may be a few trees out there. The Exora, now this one is just fantastic. Now, there is some limited, now I will say this, limited selection of the Tabushina, which is the purple. The most velvety purple leaf plant is called velvet leaf and has the most gorgeous purple flowers. Again, it will have to be trimmed back at least once a year to keep its shape, otherwise it gets leggy. So probably once it gets established outside, you got it. The indigo rose grafted tomatoes, among the newest ones, they're the black tomatoes on the outside, and absolutely gorgeous, great, tastes like it. Hand somebody a black tomato and they're gonna go, you gotta be joking, okay? But here you go. It is great. And they have, of course, a great selection of grafted tomatoes. Remember to plant the graft above the ground or they revert. And you don't want them to revert and be small. You want big, bold, early, tough, and lots of fruit. And that's what you'll get with grafted tomatoes. They have the hardy fig again this year. I'm going to grow this one again. I love it. We had a rough winter. I'm still waiting to see, but in a rough winter, it is known to come back from the ground as opposed from the old ones. So there's some neat things there as well. So I've talked to you about some of the perennials that they're going to have, some of the pots they're going to have, some of the plants they're going to have. I have forgotten two plants that I really, really wanted to tell you about. And that is, this is what they call a thriller, okay? The calocaceous. I love these. The elephant ears, I've loved them in the garden. So big, so coarse. I got 3 black ones. I love the purple black ones. There are the big Hawaiian blue ones as well. They're going to have a selection of them all in the different garden centers. So you've got to get out and check them out. They are like to be moist. They are heavy feeders. They do grow 2 to 3 feet tall, and they have these big elephant ear leaves, okay? You don't grow them for flowers. Forget that. It's for that. The other thing is they've got the canna, the South Pacific scarlet. Now, a little more orangey than scarlet, but it's fabulous. More petals than the Tropica series. A little more green, little nicer leaves, a little more vigorous. No, I don't think you're going to be able to produce in a single year a tuber from this one. It's going to be from seed each year, but it is gorgeous and it's vibrant, okay? It's a vibrant, larger flower than you're used to with the Tropica. And of course, the nice, clean, green, medium green leaves. Really like it. Got both of them. And so don't forget this. Also, don't forget to pick up their slow-release fertilizer for hanging baskets. It's important. This is a once-a-season feed. Stops you from having to go and feed all the time. Mix this in with the existing plant, sprinkle it in, lightly rake it in, keep it watered, and other than watering, you're done, okay? When it comes to feeding, you get to enjoy your plants more. I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week. You can hear me on CFBU 103.7 FM St. Catharines, Saturday mornings from 8 until 9.